Okay, let's head right into it. Let me first introduce our panelists so you know exactly who is who and what they do and what they're going to be speaking about. Obviously, first and foremost, we've got the influencer himself. Not influencer in the sense that you guys are thinking where he takes pictures on social media, but he influences you in your thinking and directs you in the right direction. The CEO and founder of AddProp, the CEO and founder of the It's More Than Just Money movement, Mr. Witness Mdaka himself. He is a property investor, a property developer, and now he is a tech genius. That's how I look at it. Thank you so much. Let's clap hands for him. I was saying to the people in Tembisa, I said, you guys must watch out because he's about to make real moves in terms of shifting the economy. So when you hear of tech experts in Silicon Valley in the USA, for those of you who may not know, these are people that you should be looking out for. So y'all should really be proud that you are amongst us and rubbing shoulders with these people today. Yes, now. Okay. And then we've got Maryjane Kgomosotho, who is the AddProp platform and marketplace lead. She gave a brilliant presentation earlier on. Please give her a round of applause as well. And then right next to me here, we've got Khetha Mthumkhulu. Khetha is a town planner. He basically brings deep insights on how town planning shapes ownership and why township layouts often hinder scale, and platforms like AddProp, like we're saying today, can align with urban developments. It's really, really nice to have young gentlemen like him in the space that he's in. Give him a round of applause as well. We're celebrating everybody on this panel because everyone is making moves. Okay, and then we've got Moloko Makgele. He is the founder of M-Lens Properties, and he's also a portfolio landlord of plus minus 15 units. So he can also give more detail about the rental space and how to manage, right? And then last and not least, we've got Dr. Miranda. She is a doctor. Yes. It's a big deal. We celebrate you. It's a big deal. We celebrate you. That takes a lot of dedication, and for you to, it's a calling. What you're doing is actually a calling to be assisting people the way that you do. She is also a property investor as well, so she's got a lot of insights that she'll be giving to you guys about the investment space. And then she's also a co-host of a very popular podcast called Property Magicians Podcast. So she's really got a lot of education and things that she can share about the investment space. Okay, but give them a round of applause again. Thank you so much. So my first question is going to go to you, Khetha, as you're sitting right next to me. You're the one to start. I want you to chat to the audience about how do town planning policies actually affect property ownership opportunities in the township?
Mic on? Okay.
Yes, it's on.
Morning, everyone. As the speaker has highlighted, Kgomosotho, a professional town and regional planner. So coming back to your question, I think two gentlemen here will attest. When we first met, even though it was on different years, when Witness came to see me, I would say he was about to cry. In a sense that he had received a lovely letter from the municipality telling him he was contravening on their bylaws. He had developed, I think, 12 units on his property, and then they say, you are contravening on these bylaws, and then you have to stop, or we are giving you a daily fine of 5,000 rand per day. Yeah, which is what is currently happening in across municipalities, City of Joburg, City of Tshwane, City of Ekurhuleni. And this all goes back to the fact that when we plan for infrastructure, I'm now talking of town planners who are employed in the employ of the municipalities. When they put infrastructure, let's say they put an infrastructure in the CBD, the capacity of that infrastructure is not just the same that is in Soweto, for instance.
Right.
The one in CBD is aligned with the fact that in the CBD we promote densification. So the sewer pipes that are there are for densification, are for high-rise buildings and all of that. And then if you come to Soweto and you build 7-story buildings, definitely you are contravening with the policies. You are not in line with what the infrastructure is allowing there. So going back to the ownership of the properties in the townships, to develop units in the township, I will say units because that's the most popular type of development. To develop units in the township, you are at a disadvantage in the fact that the number of the densification doesn't allow you as when you are in the CBD. But not necessarily to say you can't develop when you are in the township. There are ways to try and rob the system, and you didn't hear that from me.
No, we didn't. We actually didn't have this conversation.
So one of the ways we try to rob the system is that we put an application, but we don't say we are rezoning for dwelling units. We just say it's a rezoning that we are developing a guest house. So a guest house, they allow you to develop up to 8 guest rooms, and then you get your papers, you get your rights, and then afterwards, they don't come to check after we have the zoning rights whether are those people staying there permanent or they come there on occasions, you know. So those are some of the ways we try to legalize structures in the township, because the sad part with the township property space, you have funders such as Umastandi, funders such as TEV. They specifically look at the township properties. But because we can't provide approved building plans, we can't have properties having the rights, they will tell you straight they have billions and billions just waiting. You know, they can't release that funding because of those town planning policies.
This is very interesting. He's teaching us a few tricks of how you can maneuver the system, because you know, they do make it a little bit difficult. So some of you can actually have a chat with him even afterwards about, you know, more things that he can share. But thank you for sharing that, those insights, because this is what you do on the daily. I want to hand over to Dr. Miranda. Let's speak more about your journey. I mean, you're a doctor, you're a property investor, and you know, you're a co-host on a podcast, and you're a mom, which is a whole other job on its own. Can you share how your journey into property investing began and why it became such a passion for you?
Good morning, everyone. Miranda Moloto, and I am blessed to be here today to speaking to Sowetans. I grew up in Zone 40 Kloof.
Yes.
And moved to Orlando East, Go for anyone. Orlando people here? Someone from Orlando? Hello, kids Go for Wena. So I grew up in when I got to high school, I grew up in Orlando and Kikeniko Roma. Yeah, you all know Roma. You call it Immaculata, but I did from primary to high school. Immaculata is just the high school. That's where I matriculated. And Nekitwa number 1, I tell witness that all the time. Now witness the Gilusar.
Robon.
Guys. So I would get position 1 because, you know, biology, maths, science, that was easy for me, right? And ended up going to Dunsa and got my MBCHB. And I had a practice in Rockville. I lasted all of 22 months in practice. I was too young for practice. I was 23 when I was in a practice and didn't like it. I'm sorry to say, I really don't like touching patients. I build health systems, yeah? So I'm that type of a doctor who helps build systems. On the back end, for a hospital to work, somebody has to build it, and somebody who knows medicine. So my shock was when I started working, and the very first thing that we were ever sold, and I was still in medical school, the final year of medical school, a blue company sold us a life insurance, and they sold us a disability insurance. Those are defensive policies. There was an opportunity. I'm 20, I'm 21. teach me about investment. Nobody did. I've told you this 50 times, right? No stealing. And you wrote your book too late for me. Yeah, so that's important, by the way, if you were born in the era that I was born in, that I never saw a property investment book, company, newspaper, where there was a black female with dreadlocks, or a black female, at all. But my mother was already a landlord, because Runako High, in Orlando East, everyone knows there are 2 bedrooms. There's always back room, omkuku or something. So that's what took me to university. So I know the value of investing. So my journey starts because of how upset I am by the financial services system. Everybody sells you a funeral policy, funeral policy number 2 and 3 and number 8. Everybody sells you a disability policy, but when you're a doctor, guys, they sell you dead. So the very first people that I ever met when I was doing my house job at Helen Joseph, it was called J.G. Stradom in my time, in the doctor's room, the only pamphlets you would get, Moluk, were the green bank, blue bank, with the credit card, or Achiever plan, right? And the next thing that you would get is the green company. They are selling you a policy. No one speaks to black people about investing.
Yeah,
how
that's
to
true.
grow the money.
Yes.
They just walk in and like, oh, daughter, no, you can afford this, you can afford this, you can afford that. Right? Nobody speaks to you about how you're going to pay them back, where that money is going to come from. And now I tell everyone, I'm sure you've seen, some who've seen me on YouTube, I tell them, when we were housemen, it was before the democracy, we earned 1,280. 1,280. Get it, right? But the very first people that came to sell me a car, they were selling me a VR6 and an Audi. Entrapment of black people. Entrapment of black professionals. That's the only thing that I ever got. Month 2 into housemanship, we did a breakfast run down Malibong, where we have been taken to RTPS by VW and Audi, and we drive in this VR6. I had never driven a Tektronic car, the one that goes and you change gears, right? So I'm driving an A6, and then you exchange, and then you get into a VR6. Guys, have I spoken to you about anyone who showed me how money is made and grown and invested? None. None. It's not my fault, right? It's not my fault. So, why am I in the property business? I had a child at 40 because life happened and I ended up having a child at 40. And when my child came, and even before, I already knew that now when I have a child, they're going to go to a particular school and they're going to travel, because that's what I did with my money. I love travel. I don't buy bigger cars. I just buy flight tickets. You've got to have your own vision. Witness told you, right? My vision is to see all of the world, all of it. So when Neo came along and I knew I had to make money, grow money, and this money that I'm earning, I'm like, yeah, the salary is big, Mara. You know, it was not numbering.
Yes, you didn't know what she was doing with it.
No, like the numbers don't number. It's like, I must buy a car, pay school fees, what, like, channel the highly guys. Yeah, I know you're sitting there, you're thinking, no, Maraba Dr. Banachele. They don't, they have lots of credit. Nako bank, I don't have to write. I tell my bank, Hakibata, so much. And then he says, okay, send me this, send me that. I'll call you 24 hours. And then she says, they say they can give you 200,000, but 100,000, are you sure? But they want to give you 200,000. That's how it works in South Africa. And nobody tells you how to invest and grow money. They know how to give you debt.
So that's what brought me to property. Because I was like, I want to sleep at night. And one day I want to work for 3 days. And one day I want to be able to just go watch Neo play basketball, go Barcelona, and not have to worry about a boss. Well, for now I still do worry about a boss. And I work 7 days a week and I work 12 hours, right? So that's what brought me to property. So as I found out the things that actually make money, grow money, I was like, Vangeli, let's do this. That's how the podcast was born. The second thing that I'm doing, I am the co-mentor and co-founder of Khumo Wealth Academy, and myself and Slindile, we do a property mentorship because I decided, Miranda, in the language that I know, Kastswana, I'm going to make you understand investing, and I'm going to make you understand when you are a professional, when you're sitting there and thinking you're making lots of money, you ain't. You ain't. The person that taught me about property investing doesn't even have a metric. It's a gentleman in Benoni somewhere, Springs of Bank, one of those in the East End, and he owns over 120 units in the township. And he says like, Dr. Wena Nachende, He's right. The second person that taught me, write this down, episode number 25, Property Magicians Podcast. Episode number 25, Property Magicians Podcast. You're going to find it on Podbean, on Spotify, and on the iTunes, the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone podcast. Episode number 25 has got Maryjane. Maryjane is an ex-housekeeper. She owns a business and makes 400,000 per month. Per month. Underline that, italics, bold, and in red. Per month. Episode 25. When we went to record the episode, she made me sit next to her and she says, "Press Miranda, I can't we're not in this school." So guys, what I'm saying is to make money in property does not require your education. It requires financial literacy. Know how money is made, where the money is. The 700 rands here to Mama go Orlando took my sister and I to university. Did you hear me talk about a suburb? I didn't, right? Because Kaufela don't have a townhouse. Can you build a townhouse? Go deep roof. Build it, go 23. Build it, go zone 7, Middlelands. Build it right here in Dobsonville. That's the way money is made. And then I met Witness much later. And he was on my podcast, episode 34. Episode 34 is Witness Mdaka. And he had 50 plus units got Tembisa, and I was like, episode 7 or 6, there was a young gentleman also, 31-year-old, and he said, Ausmizo, we don't retire how nearly 60. I'm retiring in 4 years. Because he was running a B&B in Kensington somewhere, and him and his brother were just multiplying the B&B. I don't know where he is now, but I believe he will, and he can, and he shall. I can't remember what Muluko's episode number is, but Muluko was on my podcast as well. And all of us started at different places. And what I'm trying to say to you is, where you are, money is made. You probably don't see it because your vision is looking at the townhouse, or something like that. Yeah, and make it right here. That's number one. Number
Miranda, I think I want to touch on, because you spoke about Moloko, right? You know, as if we can just hand over to him. There's a couple of things that you've been mentioning while we're talking. I'm going to come back to you. And you know, the audience is more than welcome to have a look at the podcast as well. As I've mentioned earlier, Moloko actually has experience in the rental space. And I want him to just share, you know, because he's built such an impactful and amazing rental business. Share with the audience today the type of principles that have helped you to grow in a stable and repeatable way. You heard Dr. Miranda mentioning a couple of people who have been mentoring her as well. I'm assuming they've also been renting out properties right here where they're based. So just, if you can just mention and speak to the audience about that as well.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Moloko Machede, born and bred in Limpopo. I came here to America, you know, property space, I'm quite entrepreneurial, you know. I've tried lots of things before property. And then 6-7 years back, I started my journey in property investment. You know, I started in Polokwane. You said start where you are. I'm from Polokwane. You know, I know the demand in Polokwane. One principle: check your demand around where you stay. You know, I know the demand. I know, you know, the environment. I know competitors' principles. You know, so I started there. I built my first 10 units in Polokwane. And while I'm here in Joburg, it was a struggle of traveling that side, you know, engaging the builders and all that, you know. But yeah, it's been a journey. From there to here, it's been a great journey. I've built a good portfolio. You know, the most important thing, guys, is to start. You know, you can have mentorship, you can go to the podcast, you can attend webinars, but if you don't start, that's a futile exercise. You know, start, you will get burned, you will make mistakes. Like all of us, we made mistakes. Witness, you built without municipal permission. You know, he made mistakes. I made mistakes as well. Costly, yes, but you learn as you are into the actual operation. So, take you into the actual operation of property. You know, I think witness AddProp. AddProp is here, guys. Let's use it. It's A to Z of property, from advertising your property to managing it, engaging professionals, engaging your plumbers. You have the tool, guys. You don't have a reason to fail here. You know, so for me, running property, make sure that you maintain your units, guys. You know, maintain your units. Have lease agreement at property. You know, have those contracts, have deposit in place. That actually help you to maintain your property. If maybe the tenant exited the unit in a bad condition, that money will make sure that it fixes the unit. You know, I think those are the principles that actually you can use in property space. Again, financial literacy, guys. It doesn't use to drive a GTI now while you're struggling with your payments or month to month. You know, invest first. If you're driving now, okay, you can sell it, or maybe you can downgrade and invest in property, guys. You won't go wrong. Trust me. Property appreciate in value. You're getting monthly dividends. You know, you're making money. You're creating wealth. You're gonna leave something for your kids as well. You know, for me, property, I look at it where I'm planning to retire from. I'm in corporate. Soon I'm planning to retire from corporate, have my own time, and run my property and grow it to the level where I want it to be. You know, property is where I'll retire and leave legacy for my kids. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I'd actually like to hand over to Mr. Mdaka just to add on to this, because you started out in the same space. So in those initial stages, what strategies actually did you apply to grow your business?
In the initial stage?
Yes.
I had no strategy. I had no strategy. I didn't even think property is lucrative. I didn't even think it's a business. Remember how I was introduced to property? It was not like Moloko. He went out and bought a property and started. With me, it was accidental. My mom overpaid a house. That was accidental as well. She didn't even know she's overpaying a house. And in 2006-07, I think around 2008, she was notified, you've overpaid your house by 150,000. And then that's the money she took and built back rooms.
Nice problems.
At home, you know. And then some of it, she bought me a Corolla, RSI. Then, but I remember the first tenant was Julius Kotokwan. You know, it sounds nice when I say she bought me a Corolla, but that's because she couldn't buy herself a car because she was partially crippled. She had a stroke. So then I was the eldest, so I was the next person. We needed to get around. So she bought the car for me. But then I had to look after the back rooms. I saw it as just money to go buy. You buy food, you pay university, all of those things. I didn't think you scale and grow a business until I graduated with a business degree. Then it made sense. Oh, this is a business. Because then you are generating money. At the time, I was just taking 800 here, 500 here. Come 6 months, I don't even know what I did with the money. But then after having started working, because now I had my own salary. When I worked at Student Village,
yes,
I had my own salary. I had money from the rooms. I set up a different account for the money for the rooms. So that year, that's where I realized, actually property is money. Because I would see this salary of mine, I'm like, I'm fuguzing. Yeah, I'm working for it. And then I'm looking at the property money. It's rental income that is being paid whether or not I'm working, as long as the property is being maintained. So that's how then the structure of property came into my mind. When I left Student Village, I started a construction company. And then from the construction company, we started now building rooms. Not rooms like my mom was building them, but now it was improved structures with ablution facilities, kitchens. We were one of the first in Tembisa. And back then when we were starting, not many people were doing it. But now I was able to look at it and say, at mom's house, we're charging 900 for a room. If we make it better and it's closer to the hospital and it's got a bathroom and it's got a kitchenette and it's somewhere where you can put your couch, we can charge 3,000. I couldn't believe my eyes for the first time. Somebody said, okay, 3,000, I'll pay you. And that's how I got into now structuring it as a business.
I love that. I love the different journeys of the three of you that we've spoken to. Someone who literally...
And I didn't have AddProp.
And you didn't have AddProp. And that's what I wanted to...
We struggled so much.
We struggled.
We had to build everything from scratch. Man.
Yeah, that's what I actually wanted to say, looking at your journey, and where you started literally from a blank canvas, there was nothing. You were literally learning on the go. You look at Moloko, who managed to actually build up a business with strategy, and Dr. Miranda as well with her investments and the people she's spoken about. We have AddProp right now that can make things easy for you, where you don't have to be going to Bab Jabulani to go and get that 1,000 rand for the room that he's renting out from you, and then Mama, whoever, to pay you. But you actually have a system that can help you manage your properties. And I think that this is where I want to bring Maryjane in as well, just so she can share. From the people that you've seen, I mean, right now, AddProp has hit 3.4 billion.
3 billion, 438 million rands.
Hey!
39 now. Right? Don't make a mistake. 9 million is a lot.
Hey, let me get it right. Hey, I must not pull a... Yeah.
Why we balancing?
Hey!
I wanted to say, re bala jwang?
That's a lot of numbers. But you
It
can
is.
see it for yourself.
It's not many times you see billions in the township.
No,
It's not
no.
many
Seeing
times
it
you
now.
see billions associated with black people.
That's right.
Right?
That's
Um,
right.
It's so exciting to see how this platform has grown and how it's assisted so many people. It's only been 4 months. And if you know a 4-month-old baby, they are only learning how to sit at that age. AddProp is not sitting, it's sprinting, right? It's managing over 3 billion worth of properties.
Imagine that.
It's
In 4 months.
creating employment, it's creating structure in so many property portfolios. When you speak to somebody and they say, Maryjane, I want to come see you, I've got 80 units to put there, it brings joy to my heart. Because what I see is he's going to have 160 in a year or two. Simply because the system is going to do that difference.
This is amazing. So you are engaging with people on the daily. What sort of things are you learning from them as well? I mean, they've never had anything like this, used a system like this. What are you hearing from them? Just share with the audience as well so they can really get an understanding of what this means.
I'm hearing relief. I asked earlier on, how many of us are landlords? How many of us are landlords of more than 5 units? How frustrating is it month end when those messages come in and you have to now sit down and remember, witness paid, Dr. Miranda didn't, Moloko ushotiste ka 5 rand, and you must remember to calculate the 5 rand next month, but your bills are not going to care about those short changes, right? Your bills are not, the municipality wants their money. You heard him, the municipality wants their money. You know, electricity must be on. Otherwise, why am I staying in your property if it's off? You know? So what I hear from the people that come that use this platform is that it has simplified things. The best way to explain what it's done in people's life is that it's brought simplicity into a complex system. As Dr. Miranda was saying, we come from backgrounds where investing in any form is not taught to us. What's taught to us is we're sold debt. You get AddProp, or rather you get this entire movement that is from, it's more than just money, the book, the movement, and the building of AddProp, where not only were you taught how to make money, how to grow money, now you're being taught how to maintain those portfolios and how to scale those portfolios. It's an ecosystem that has been built to work for us, not for somebody in the burbs. No,
That's right.
For me and you. I'm from Tembisa. For me and you who grew up on the income of back rooms. For me and you who were instructed to wake up in the morning, I grew up with a grandmother that would tell you by 8 o'clock all the rooms must be clean, the stoops must be clean. That is how she kept her tenants happy, making them live in a clean space. So now we've got a system that assists Ugogo, that assists me as a young person, that assists your corporate person that has a portfolio but is struggling to juggle the two. With this system, you have simplified your portfolio and you've got access to scaling that property portfolio.
Thank you so much.
Can I add to that?
I was literally about to, please. I was actually about to get to you, Mr. Mdaka. Please add on to that.
Oh, okay. Did you have a question?
I had a question, but I'd like you to add on to that.
Okay, what I wanted to add, because she spoke about, you asked her, how does it feel when you're engaging people and they're hearing about the platform or they're about to join the platform. Tammy and I recently had a meeting with a young guy. He's Indian. He was at the time, he said to me, witness, we've got 150 units and 30 of those units are mine, right? And 120 are managed for a consortium. Is AddProp going to go away? And I said to him, no, why do you ask? He's like, it's so much of a relief for me to have AddProp now because it makes my life easier.
Right.
Please promise me this is not going anywhere.
Mm.
And the second guy is a black dude from the township, right? Hear the story, Osmizo. His dad was an electrician, and his dad bought like 5 houses. So the 4 rooms, right?
Mm.
He bought like 5 of those. And as he was about to He's old. He was old. He's dead. He died at 86. He called all his 4 kids and said to them, I'm going to give you these properties. Sorry. See what you do with them. That man, when I met him last week, him and his siblings, 4 of them, have 854 rooms.
Wow.
Not 84.
800.
854 rooms.
Yeah.
Then he says to me,
Hey,
Witness,
imagine
I'm
the
going to
money.
use AddProp. Remember, I'm black, Mfana, and I love what you're doing, and I'm going to support you. Then he says to me, drive with me to one of my developments. So I drive with him. I get to this other development where he bought land. And he says, no, I buy land whenever it's available. So he says to me, and I say to him, oh, there's land available that side, closer to where he is. I call the owner, look, and I say, I'm with so-and-so. Do you still have that land of yours that you are selling? And the guy says, no, that land is actually, we sold it 2 weeks ago. It's awaiting transfer. This guy says to me, Muti Sorke number mang, is it number 40? The guy says it's number 40. And I just bought it. And then I tell the guy that bought your land is here with me. I don't know, I didn't know the owner because I bought it through an agent. Then he says to me, on this land, we are going to do 700 units. We're starting with 300 this year. And I'm like, you know what? This is what we want. This is what we want, where black people are also true participants of the economy. And for me, that's what AddProp was built for. For you guys starting at 1 unit, for that guy coming with 30 units, 80 units, Mluko is over 100 now. Somebody coming at 854 units, and then saying, I'll do 700 more. And then my sophisticated investors, like my friends that I met in Cape Town, they have 8,000 units. And my duty is to convince them to bring them onto AddProp. They sent me a message yesterday, but Witness, can you change 1, 2, 3 on the contract? We are coming in. I'm like, Itlang Wafanabak.
I love that.
So, Pabi, let me tell you another little nugget.
Yes, Doc, please.
So, because sometimes maintaining and taking care of properties, I tell Witness about the first multi-let that I had. Multi-let, it's a strategy, guys. Oh, yeah. He said, you can't go wrong on property. You can hugely go wrong, eh? I did. Anyway, so I buy a multi-let, and it's got 13 tenants in the property. No, go Dorenfontein, the other side of Ellis Park. I don't know what that place is called. I don't know what the place is called because I haven't been in 4 years. Because it's maintained by Abud Kenny, lives in unit number 13. And he does the knocking. Go, it's month end. And if you don't, right? So I don't have to do that. And when the tap breaks or there's a blocked toilet, I don't have to do that. Maintenance is important. It takes away 10% of your profit, but you've got to be willing to do it. That's the other thing we don't do well as black people. We rent out places, we never visit them, you don't know whether the doors lock or not. So, in your portfolio of investing, there's property, yes, I got that. And when I don't have money, like 2020, I've got 300, so I bought Easy Prop, on ETFs, like ETF, Easy Equities.
Yes.
Click download the Easy Equities, how nearly 200? Invest go Easy Equities. Anyway, now what I've done is I'm too tired to look for properties. So I invested in AddProp. So you had better make AddProp stay. So I'm an investor in AddProp. You want to talk about AddProp? Yeah. So sometimes it's your company, sometimes it's somebody else's company, sometimes it's a dream and a vision that you see and you behold, right? So I am an initial investor in AddProp, and we are about to make it stay, right?
Absolutely. Let's clap hands for that. Absolutely. It's staying. Yes, Moloko.
Just to add, we will make sure that AddProp doesn't go away. We will hold Witness accountable. AddProp is not going anywhere, guys.
And I'm going to join you there.
Yeah.
Believe you me.
It's our tool. It's our tool, guys, that we're gonna use for years to come. And on the other note, guys, financial literacy as well. I fix credit scores. Whenever you have issues with your credit scores, give us a shout. We'll help you to improve your score. Remember, your score is used by the bank to be able to give you money. They check whether you're trustworthy. If you're paying your AddProp, your jet, and all that, come to us. We can help you as well to improve your score. Thank you.
Thank you for adding on to that. I want to just say something before to say, this platform has been created for you. Not only are the founders supposed to be accountable, but let's also, as people, because this is for us. This is for us. So let's also make it work. This is giving us access to the market. So give yourself that responsibility, because this is something that we own as African people, as Black people. There isn't anything like this out there on the market. Khetha, you had something that you wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add from what the speakers were also saying here, that on my side, I'll say my advice to the potential developers is just to do your due diligence. What I mean by that is that you find a property, you run it first by a town planner to say, I want to develop, let's say, 60 units. Is it allowable? Does the municipality allows for that type of development? Because I'm not saying I'm speaking bad about the real estate agents, but most of the times they tell you the rights are there, just develop. And when you go to the municipality, you find out, because what the municipalities have, they have what is called a special developmental frameworks, where it gives a vision of the municipality to say, in this particular area, we only support industries. And then you come there and you want to develop residential developments.
Exactly.
It's not going to fly, So just do your due diligence, get the zoning certificates. For free, I am able to check with the municipality for you. Some of the policies, I know them, so I can tell you from the first hand to say, no, that's not going to fly. So, because most of the time you'll find a client, he has already developed and he comes and see you, he has already received that letter from the municipality. Then the first thing that they say is that, but this is my property, why are they telling me to do this and do this, But the truth of the matter is the municipality is the one that decides on what happens with their area based on the infrastructure that they have. So due diligence, get the zoning certificate, visit the municipal departments, ask them, is this development going to fly? Most of the departments that deals with town planning issues are called city planning. So if you're in Tshwane, you are in Joburg, if you're in Ekurhuleni, you check with city planning department, what are their plans for that area, Because you may find that the property is earmarked for residential development, but the infrastructure is going to come there in the next 8 years. So we have to hold on to that property for the next 8 years or 10 years. You find that maybe the property is also zoned for residential densification, but the previous owner, that's what normal developers do. They will find a property, they rezone it, it has the rights for residential development, and then they put it on the market. But there is something called bulk services contributions, When you develop a property, the municipality will say, okay, in this stand number 8 or stand number 9, it's only zoned as a residential one, for instance. It's for a single family that must stay there. And then now you are coming there, you are developing 80 units, meaning it's 80 families that are going to stay there. They strain on the sewer, they strain on the electricity, and then they charge you what is called bulk services contributions. It's a once-off payment that you make to the municipality. I mean, most of them, you're looking at 45,000 rand per unit that you are adding.
Wow, that's a lot of money. This is very informative. I think people have been taking notes on this area as well, because these are things that we don't know until we actually get started. I want to just let one more person wrap up, because we have had a lengthy discussion and we need to move on to the next part of the program. Mr. Mdaka, Maryjane, I don't know if you've got anything that you would like to add.
Let's allow the doctor or Muluku. wrap up because Maryjane and I are remaining. on stage.
Remaining, correct.
Yeah.
Dr. Miranda.
Just two things. Khetha is talking about a lot of things, both densification, Res 1, Res 3, Res 4, bulk services, and those things don't come naturally. I didn't learn them go medical school. I learned them because I got mentored along the way, right? And I attended property mentorships. And the reason why Slindile and I founded Kgomosotho Academy is exactly for that, to mentor you. The 6-week mentorship is about that. We've Tswanalized and Zululized the language of property
I love that.
investing. Because and they're talking about due diligence, ROI, and NOI, and net profit. And guys, go medical school and don't let any doctor fool you that they understand it. MPCHB doesn't give you that. You find it along the way. You go and find the financial language so that you can translate it into your investing journey. So if you want to gain knowledge, follow us on YouTube, on TikTok. We are Kgomosotho Academy, and on Instagram as well. And Witness, by the way, God, it's more than just money, did exactly that for me, because I can sit across him at a dinner table and we can talk about this, and it's like, Ausmizo, that's not where the money is. You see, share, and he speaks in a language, because I grew up in Tembisa, because he speaks in a language that I could hear for the first time I heard him. Find your witness. Find your witness.
Moloko?
Yeah, my closing remarks, I'll say it again, guys. Just start. If you check, I think 4 of us we here. I've created relationships with Khetha. I know Witness. I know Doctor here. So I know if I have issues, I can call Khetha. I can call Witness. Create those relationships, but just start. You'll learn as we go. That's the only way you're gonna learn. But attend the workshops. You know, mentorship quite important, but just start.
Thank you so much to our experts. Thank you for such an insightful and engaging session. This has been great. I believe many of you have been taking notes. I'm now just going to allow our speakers to kindly leave Mr. Mdaka and Maryjane. We're going to be opening up to the Q&A. I'm sure